Hello, hello. It is Fulfilled Millionaire podcast, episode 2. And today we have Lisa Berry with us, who is Fulfilled Millionaire. Lisa, hi. Tell your
Hello.
story.
Beautiful. Thank you so much for having me on here, Elena. I became this through building my first company online, and it actually happened through the pandemic, through COVID. And I decided to go all in before the pandemic happened. I was dabbling in the coaching industry, a former engineer, former event manager, and I was dabbling in my coaching business for 5 years. After 5 years, I guess I dabbled for too long. After 5 years, I decided to go all in. And what all in meant for me was a line in the sand, and that I was going to surrender to the entire experience and allow myself to know what it feels like to be truly successful in a financial, in a health, in a wealth, in a relationship aspect. And that required me to step up in a different way. And so from doing a 52K year in my coaching business the prior year to that, I then created 52K month, 56, 73, 113, and then it basically took off like a rocket ship, which I was so surprised in. But I think one of the things that I really embraced through that period was I was consistently surprising myself with what I was capable of. And so in the first 10 months, I created my first 10 figures. And then 6 months after that, I created 7-figure month. And so it grew from me, just being me in the company, to a team of 16, which was full-time, part-time, casual staff, and to a client base of 160 clients, ranging from the 5K investment to 35K investment. And so it was quite an extraordinary business, an extreme experience in ways that I never, ever had imagined. And as a result of it, I was able to do some beautiful things for my family. And so it was a beautiful experience as a first business. And then I transitioned into what I'm doing now, which is helping businesses sustainably scale to multi 7 figures in what it is that they're doing.
Great, Lisa. Thank you. It is really inspiring that you achieved such a great results with this short time. So, where was that moment when, what do you think, where that moment happened that you decided that you go all full and you do whatever it takes to achieve your goal? And what was your first goal? What was that dream? What was that burning desire for you when you made the decision?
Yeah, beautiful. I remember the moment I had moved back in with my parents at age 30, which was a little bit of a pride ego kick. And I just split up with my previous partner, and I was working my parents' garage. Really, that was where my office was. And so I remember being in that moment and saying to myself, every single time I've gone through a relationship breakup or I've hit my rock bottom or whatever it is, I've always acted out of an unresourceful comfort place. And I remember thinking this. Every single time that happened, I would be unresourcefully eating. I'd go and emotional eat, or I'd go out and connect with a load of people, or I would do things to absolutely avoid what I need to take care of. And I remember that moment saying to myself, I'm going to be the healthiest, most successful version of me. And that meant that no matter what I needed to do, I was willing to do it. I was willing to do whatever it took. And that means whatever it took. If someone said, like, jump, I wouldn't ask how high. I would say, where is the airport? Can we get a jet plane? How can we go to another world? We can launch a rocket to another experience here. And it was thinking outside of what I was used to, so that I could experience something that I wasn't used to anymore, which was the success that I was looking for. So for me, that was the moment where I was crying every single day because of the breakup. I was like, living in my parents' garage and trying to build this thing. And it was a consistent, I'm willing to do whatever it takes every single day.
And yeah, consistency, I can see it because even now, yes, it is already quite a long time. When was this time when you tell me about when you started? 3 years ago?
Yeah, so it was it was when I was 30 years old. I'm 34, so 2020 June. That's when
So,
it took off.
so 4 years, yes. And I see your consistency, yes, that every day you are posting, you do reels, and this is very amazing what you do. I follow you on Facebook. Every time I open my Facebook, I see you. So I say, oh, Lisa, doing great, so consistent. What else? What else you think helped you to achieve your results?
So definitely having an environment where like I was in a mastermind at the time where there was, for me, healthy competition was one of my drivers. And I think identifying what your driver is going to support you in understanding what types of environment that people need to be in. And I say this because not everybody loves healthy competition. Some people don't love competition at all. And so for me, it was healthy competition. It was breaking the status quo. It was becoming a plus student, high achiever. And I say this because even the person that I hired as a coach at the time, he didn't believe that I could achieve 500K in 15 months. And I achieved that in 6. And so, it was, even my mentor had limitations on what it was that I was capable of doing. And so for me, the biggest driver or the biggest shift in my mind was, I'm here to break the status quo. I'm a black sheep for a reason. So let me embrace all of that. And so it was connecting to the driver of competition. So that was one of the things, surrounding myself in an environment where I could facilitate that driver, as well as really embracing things in the way that I wanted to. And I think there's a difference between building a business you're told to build versus building a business that you truly desire to build. And it's really connecting to what that is in the way in which you want to do it. That is one of the biggest things that I see and attribute to people's success, is the passion and the connection and the volition that they have within them, that is coming from them, and not a desire to please or try and be somebody that they're not. And so for me, another attribution was the authenticity that I was bringing to the business that I was creating at the time.
Authenticity, yeah. And I liked how you told that you, don't please other people. Yeah, we shouldn't please other people. We should be ourselves and bring to the surface those unique talents and gifts which we have. Yeah, amazing. And how important was to have mentor and coach? You mentioned that you had a coach. How important was to have mentors and coaches maybe in your journey to success?
I've had coaches since I started coaching. Since I started becoming a student, I've had coaches. Um, Student of personal development, student of business, student of health. I've got currently a coach for like lifestyle and relationships. I've got another coach for health, and really my physical being and training and muscle building. And I've got a coach in business. And so I've got the 3 main areas of my life, which is health, wealth, and love. Those are the places that I have coaches, because there's always another level to get to. So I think you don't know what you don't know. And I'm a firm believer, and I used to hate coaches telling me that you've got all the answers within. I'm like, no, you don't. There's some things that you don't know that you don't know. And until you connect with someone who's got the knowledge or the skill or the acumen that's going to challenge you to uncover that, cool, but that person still needs to be there. So the importance of your success depends on the people that you surround yourself with, and what you're listening to and tuning into. And that is so, so, so important. And so things like really clearing out your social media feeds to only have positive people who are encouraging your thinking, to clear out your social networks, to have that there. From a coaching perspective, I only listen to the people who've created the results. And so it is really finding the people who you trust, connect to, resonate with, who you are their ideal client to be able to serve you in a way that's going to help you elevate.
Yeah, very, very important. All successful people have mentors who can see their potential, where they can go even when they don't see. But in your case, you said that you even could see more in yourself than your coach. So I
Yeah,
think it,
totally.
so I think that you changed the coach later, yeah, who could see even bigger picture than you could see. Yes, I think this is the key, to have somebody who can see the bigger picture of us and who can help us to go out of our comfort zone, to stretch ourselves and to literally die for our former self and renew, reborn to a new self, because this growth process which is needed to success, it always happens through going out of comfort zone and do what is not comfortable and make it comfortable doing uncomfortable.
Yes, totally. I want to share one thing here that you touched on about a coach seeing greater vision than what we do. I remember getting the coach that I have now, and she asked me, "What are your goals? What are your dreams?" And I remember saying to her, "I can't fully tell you what that is." And she goes, "What? Why?" And I said, "Because my dreams and my goals are limited to where my fears lie. And so I will only dream to the capacity of my fears." And so I will tell you what my fear-based dreams are, because I can't see beyond that. But I hope and I trust that your vision will precede that. And so I shared, and then she shared, and I was like, whoa, and it just broke all these limits. And it was such a wonderful way to look at my dreams in a way that was expansive rather than restrictive, because again, we don't know how far we can go until we go there. And the only way we can go there is for us, number one, to facilitate it to a certain level, and then for us to be able to connect with people who can help us facilitate to the next level. And so that's one of the things that was so imperative to connecting with a coach that works in unison of opening up your world to other worlds as well.
And how important of making decision fast? Can you tell me a story in your life when a decision was not easy to make, but you knew that you had to do it and you just made decision fast, and you later you didn't regret and you were happy about that making decision?
Yeah, beautiful. That's kind of just my life. So I do make decisions fast all the time. My father used to call me impulsive. I think it's just smart decision making. I do assessments really quickly, and my brain functions in that way. If it's going to give me the reward, if I'm going to get a result from it, no matter what, if I'm going to make my return of investment in time, money, or energy, then it's worth it. And so and is it ecology? Is it good for me, good for others, or good for the greater good? If it's all those things, that's an easy decision to make. So moving to where I live right now, I live in the Gold Coast, Australia. I'd never been here before. I wanted to be near the sun. I wanted to be near the beaches. And so I decided I'm going to move from cold, windy Melbourne to the Gold Coast, and I just packed up everything and came over, and I was like, oh, great decision. Came over, and I just started living in. I was like, I love this place, and I'd never been here before. Another one was to travel overseas. I met someone, they invited me over. I did a random act of kindness for someone. They invited me over to Canada. I stayed there for a month and a half, and I had the most incredible adventure of my life, to meet people and then travel spontaneously throughout Canada and North America. And then also in business, it was, spending 50K 1 month for mentoring 4 sessions from someone. And that was like, whoa, okay, well, anyway, I've got to do this because I want to be the person who spent $50,000 in 1 month for a mentor that's going to create a different trajectory in my entire life. And it did, completely did. So it gave me an opportunity to gain a business partner that is so well established and connected. And I then have broadened my networks and opportunities as a result of that. And so every decision that I've made that's big, I actually make fast. It's even the small decisions. I'm like, all right, this is what's happening. This is what I'm doing. And because the thing is, dwelling on a decision is not helpful, right? If you're doing it to do due diligence, then get a checklist for due diligence and go through the checklist. The time that people usually take from decision making is to manage their emotional state most of the time. It's fears, it's apprehension around that. And so if it is about managing your emotional state, that is probably something to work on rather than the decision making itself. Because decision making can be logical, and the emotional decision making needs to be something that you learn to process in a way that helps move you forward.
So here, emotionals, you mean intuition, yeah, to listen your heart and follow your intuition also, rather than just thinking logically and thinking how I'm going to do it. Because in many cases, when it is a big decision, we don't know how, and we just make decision from the place where we want to be. We connect emotionally with that picture where we can see ourselves potentially by doing this, and intuition shows us that we can do this, we can believe in ourselves, and we make decision based on that. Because most of people, they condition to make decision logically, and they studying asking question how I can do this, and logic can take them also to their past. And if they couldn't do it in the past and they don't know how, this is what usually stops them.
Yeah, totally. So I actually have a distinction between emotion and intuition. It's two different things to me. And the reason, this is one of my beliefs. Intuition is a knowing, and emotion is a feeling. And understanding the difference between the two is really important, because emotion can stir up fears and uncertainty and feelings of happiness and joy and all these sort of things that are fleeting and ever changing and ever evolving. Intuition is a knowingness. It's a connected to source, self, truth for yourself. And so that's where I believe the vision and the dreams and that path is really highlighted. And I think sometimes emotions distort what can be possible, because I know, like, as a woman, our emotions change on a hormonal basis regularly. And I think also circumstances change emotions, whereas the knowingness is one of the things that I trust massively, and the emotion I trust sparingly. It's something that's really supported me massively in creating the results, because intuition is going to give me more of a response than an emotional reaction.
Mm-hmm. Yes, and how controlling emotions helped you to achieve your goals?
Yeah, so I don't actually control emotions. I channel emotions.
Mm-hmm.
And so it is a form of control, I guess. But I channel it. So if I'm angry, I use the anger in what it is that I'm doing. If I'm sad, I use the sadness in what I'm doing. I remember one of my calls, I was going on stage, and I got a call 2 minutes before I went on stage, and my mom called me to tell my friend had passed away. And I remember, like, it was 2 minutes. I didn't have anybody else to facilitate. I didn't have anything else to do. And I hung up. I was like, I gotta go. Put it down. I remember all of the emotion coming up, and I had to run this event. And so I went in and I started to facilitate, but I used the emotion in that session. It was so powerful for everybody in there. It was like speaking with every ounce of me in that way. And I really conveyed the message even more because I used the emotion. And after the call, I let them know, I let everybody know, hey, so I wanted to share this with you, and who felt that was more powerful, who felt more connected, who felt the emotion in that, and everybody put their hands up, and I said, this is the power of channeling your emotions. And so It's a skill to learn and attain so that the emotion doesn't disable you, it enables you. And so it's finding ways to help your emotions be useful for you rather than work against you.
Yeah, amazing. Yeah, I like how you told that you channel emotions. So let's speak about this choice. Yes, choice, because emotions always come from thought, and our ability to change the direction of our thoughts. This is how we can direct also emotions, because emotions go follow, like go after thoughts. So by choosing our thoughts and make decisions where we want to direct our emotions, this is how we can use this energy and direct it to the way which we want. Yes,
Yeah.
and this is what makes the difference between reacting and responding.
Yeah.
Let's
Totally.
discuss this, like how you can and how it helps you to not just react to things which happen, but response it in the way that serves you and serves other people, and when you can use this energy to the right way.
Yeah, I think I 100% agree with you that, our maps of the world and the way that we think literally creates or destroys everything. And so, it's truly up to us on what we want to do. And so, one of the things that you can do is what are some of the beliefs and things that you have that you're thinking about that is either serving you or not serving you. And it's like anytime I have a thought that isn't enabling me to create the future that I want, then I just check it and I go, okay, hey, is this absolutely true? If the answer is not, like, no, it's not true. Okay, well then, because I used to think I was a bad speaker. This is one of the things, and I quit my engineering job twice because I'm so afraid of speaking in public. And so I thought this my whole life, and it wasn't even my belief, it was my father's belief. And so being in a space where I was uncertain about like my beliefs and where it actually came from, that was the very pivotal moment where I decided, okay, well, this is not a belief system anymore that is mine. It is then going, okay, what's mine, what's somebody else's. And so the thought process for me was about deciphering where it came from. Is it even mine? If it's not mine, then what do I need to be able to connect to so that I can start to embody beliefs and thoughts that are going to help me get to the goal? So yeah, totally.
Yes, amazing. And how this process of living from your higher self and using your imagination and seeing yourself from the end as if and act as if. So in this process, you in order to create those new results from that big picture, we become the new personality. So tell me a little bit about this process, how you changed your identity, changed your self-image, and started living from that new yourself, from that higher yourself, and implementing whatever it took every day, but not from the place where you go, but the place where you want to be.
Yeah. I played a game with myself. So the game was I want to see what I'm capable of. I want to surprise myself with my capacity. And so any challenge that came up, I was consistently going, okay, what can I do? Can I do this? What if I was able to achieve this? Like doing $1 million a month was not something that I ever imagined previously. It was just, can I do this? And let's see. So it was just, I ended up playing this game with myself and nobody else that really helped me be able to think about it in a way that was fun and not stressful or pressureful. So I consistently allowed myself to see what I was capable of. And the other thing was, I didn't actually shape and form into someone that I was not. I was like, if a higher part of me came out, what would that be? It's doing like something that I do on a evening basis. Every single night before I go to sleep, I write 3 futures. I do 3 gratitudes, 3 lessons, and 3 futures. And the 3 futures share me living and connecting to what it is. And it is the emotional connection, the visual connection, the energetic connection. Because I think a lot of people want their goals for just the reason of getting by or making ends meet, rather than it being an embodiment of their energy and the feeling of it. And I think that is a really important part in connecting to your goals. It's not just the visualization, it is the full integration within yourself to be able to really live, talk, breathe, feel it.
Yeah, thank you, Lisa. It is so golden, golden knowledge which you implement every day. And tell me also this thing: if you would like to share with people uh, what helps you to be consistent, what helps you to do every day what you do, and what you think is the the key elements for the person who wants to become fulfilled millionaire, who wants to find out what is that really big purpose and that big mission in his life, that what is connected to his unique talents and gifts. What you would what would be your advice for these people who want to be more, who want to have more and do more and become fulfilled millionaire?
Big question. That's a big question. All right. So, in terms of the first part of your question, which was about the consistency, to continue, and I'll share about the fulfilled millionaire in a second. The consistency side of things, I am an avid planner. So I have a calendar, a personal tracker for my life and my business. And I've got a journal that I write my top 5 things every single day that I must achieve. And so it's just 5 things, and I need to make sure I complete it. That's it, whenever during the day. So I have flexibility around it. I've got flexibility of what I need to achieve in the week when I do it as well. So flexibility with consistency is the very thing that actually helps me become more disciplined and helps me achieve the results. Um, Consistency with rigidity never ever works. So I really encourage everybody to incorporate flexibility with their consistency, and that's going to help them maintain a rhythm and a momentum. In terms of, if someone wants to really connect to their vision and be able to like feel what it's like to be a millionaire, and not feel from a hypothetical space, but actually money in the bank experience, it is about being relentless and unwilling to settle for the life that they're in right now. It is, I'm going to do whatever it takes. That means if I need to sit for 5 hours just to get my vision out, when it takes somebody an hour, or if it takes someone 30 minutes, but it takes me 5 hours, it'll take 5 hours. It is the unwillingness to give up, the unwillingness to be able to go, you know what, despite my beliefs, despite my past, despite the things that's happened, despite the amount of times I failed, I am going to succeed no matter what, no matter how long, no matter how much money or time or energy I spend, I will create it. And so I think there needs to be a conviction and a volition and a tenacity around that you need to be able to bring. And I would say that is a really masculine aspect. And then the feminine side of that is really embracing with that intuition and that knowing inside of you. You've got, irrespective of your fears, irrespective of your circumstance, you know what you're destined to create. And that's say combine those two and allow yourself to see what's possible. And paint the picture without anybody around in terms of influence. Paint the picture with only the influence of the people who want to see you there, and paint the picture in a way that's going to make it come true. So I would say set realistic, ambitious goals, and then allow yourself to expand into that space in any
Um,
means.
yeah, and the last question, Lisa, if there would be one advice that you would like to give to people who listen to us, what would that be?
You don't know what you are capable of until you give yourself the chance to see your capacity. So give yourself the chance to see what you're capable of, because you'll never know what that is until you try.
Yeah, amazing, amazing. Thank you very much, Lisa. It was great. It was great having you on my podcast, and I can see that you are fulfilled millionaire, and this fulfillment is so important. And I can see it from the way you speak, the way you live, the way you share your stories. That you are fulfilled, you're happy, you're healthy, you're wealthy, and I wish you all the success. And we'll be happy to see you again as a guest on Fulfilled Millionaire podcast. Thank you very much.
Thank you.